it's MK. Welcome back to MK Quilts. So once again, you have the whole Motley Crushwitz crew with you today. Got Mr. MK, got Samson, and I got my list. So let's get started. I am going to let Mr. MK give you an update to start with today.
All right. I've got a new haircut because I've been out interviewing, so I've been a little busy. I still have plans this weekend to get the USB sync tool up and running, released. Got to fix the Windows 7 problem, do a little cleaning up around the edges. And Melissa just had an issue today that I thought might be another tool that I could slip into the folder there, and that would be a log file tool, so that if you're working with Handy Quilter and they say, can you send me the log files, you should just be able to run this one batch file. It'll copy it to the USB drive. You can take it to your computer and email it to them. So that's a little extended goal here as a Christmas present, but hopefully we can get something out to you and posted by Monday. So that's my goal. Me and the dog will work hard on it.
So is that it, Mr. MK?
That's all you allowed me to say this time. So.
It's funny that he started out with, who do we have? Hey, Jeannie. It's funny that he started out talking about his haircut because I had an issue with the hair today too. I came in early today. I just was really ready and focused to get started quilting, and I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I get a text and it's my hairdresser and she's like, did you forget? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I needed my roots done so bad. So anyways, Mr. MK is ready for Christmas. I got some new color on the long locks today, and it's all good. All right, so thanks to Mr. MK for working on that. Bye. Thanks to him for working on that, and like he said, he will try to get onto that this weekend and get that out for you guys. Okay, what else do I have on the list? So I wanted to talk today about a couple of Pro Stitcher simulation specific items. Now, I might have mentioned the first one last week. I can't remember, but we'll just talk about it again because once again, there's a lot of new people that have joined the page. So welcome to the new people. Thanks for following along. And so this is a sim group, Pro Stitcher sim style group. So let's talk about a couple of things Pro Stitcher sim related. So the first thing was last week I had this aha moment. I'm pretty sure I talked about this. I had this aha moment when I was resizing a pattern while using simulation, and I realized that when I was going through the modify resize, if I clicked on the plus button with my mouse while I was working on my laptop, I could then depress the space bar and it would continue to resize. I could also click on the minus button while I was resizing, press the space bar, and it would continue to reduce the size of the pattern. So I did a little bit more investigating today because one of the educators had reached out when I posted about that and said that a lot of buttons work with the space bar. So right before I hopped on, I tried the nudge function. So if you're doing modify reposition and you're using the nudge feature, you can hit any one of those arrows and then you can hit the space bar on if you're working in simulation, okay? On your tablet, unless you have a Bluetooth wireless keyboard with a space bar, probably not the best thing that's going to work while you're at your machine, but on simulation, try some of those functions that have some sort of a click tab or a function on the screen, and then see if the space bar will get it done for you. But for me, in layout and rendering, that was a huge discovery because it's just kind of annoying to have to use the mouse for every single thing, and now I've discovered that. So that's my first thing, a really, really cool function. So work with that a little bit in your simulators. The next one was something that came up, I think actually this thread came up on a conversation over on the Pro Stitcher Posse board, and it had to do with stitching out your area. Now, we have had for a long, long time the ability to stitch area with using the trace area function. And what was discovered, well, this other person knew, I did not know this, that if you're working with area at your machine or at simulation, you can select the area. Before you stitch your actual design, you can select the area, do quilt run, and it will stitch that area without having to go into the Pro Stitch or Quilt function and click on the trace area. Now that will work, either trace area or just select the area and stitch it. Now the only thing with stitching an area when you're actually at your machine is if you have a thread break or you run out of bobbin thread or something like that, you can't go to a specific spot in the area and start over at that spot. You would have to start restitching the whole area, but you could air stitch it up until the point where you ran out of thread. Then you continue to stitch the rest of the way. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about wanting to actually stitch your area. Now, I just happened to think about something while I was talking about that. Remember that we have this cool new function with the latest update of Premium, this rubber band option with the area box. So that might be something that as you're working at your quilt, you're using that rubber band area function and you actually want to stitch that. Okay, that's not really something that I've used a whole lot since that function came out, but I'm sure that there's a whole load of applications where that can be used. Okay, so those were the two things that I just kind of discovered in the last week or so. So that was the using your space bar when you're working in simulation to do some sort of functionality, nudge, resize, things like that. And then the other one is to be able to stitch the area. Okay, very, very cool. All right, next on the list, I have finalized my teaching event for Southern California. Okay, I'm going to be out there on a Senegence Lip Sense event in January. I already mentioned that. And on Monday, January 15th, it's Martin Luther King Day, I have nailed down a host. He lives in Corona, California. He has Infinity with Pro Stitcher. He's got a studio that can house a small group. And I just had somebody messaging me before I got on the live feed. Melissa, what exactly are you going to be teaching? So if you go over to mkquilts.com, you go over to the events tab, upcoming events, I think it's called. Click on that, scroll down a little bit, you'll see the dates and all the information for the California event. Just a little further down is a link to a PDF file that basically has a little bit of an outline about what I'll be teaching. And basically, you guys, what I have been doing the last year and a half or so when I travel and teach is give you as much information as I can in a day about how I do layout and rendering, how it is that I use simulation to help me plan my quilting. Now, this person that was reaching out to me, she was very concerned that maybe what I was teaching was going to be too advanced for her. And I want to assure anybody that's listening that my teaching style and the information that I cover, it's for all levels, okay? Whether you just got your machine a week ago or whether you've had your machine 10 years. Simulation is only a couple of years old. So, the way that I have been using it since it was introduced was really, I was kind of the trailblazer with that when it comes to simulation. And so it's very unique to me. They're using simulation, of course, now with Handy Quilter and all the educators use it and whatnot. But, I kind of figured these techniques out, ways to help me plan out my quilting, use simulation to do that, and then it's all ready for you when you step up to the machine to stitch. So that is what I teach when I am on the road, okay? So if you're in Southern California and you can at all make it to Corona, California, Monday, January 15th, it's going to be a whole day session, probably about 9:30 to 4:30 or 5 or whenever we're just, done. I would love to meet you, and I'm really, really excited about my whole trip to California. All right, so that's that. Keep watching the page. I am really trying to nail down some other, hey Leanne, I'm trying to nail down some other teaching venues. I do have the event scheduled in March along with Angela Walters up in Liberty, Missouri. I don't have that up on MK Quilts just yet. We have a couple of things to iron out, Angela and I do, but that's going to be in the beginning of March. And then I am trying really hard to work in some other things, other places where I'll be. Okay, so just keep watching. I know that you guys do. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and I need some input from you guys for this for 2018. I need to come up with some new video content. And I really want you to have input into what I am going to record and what I'm going to do. So just, at any time, if you think of something that you would like me to cover in the way of my videos, either on YouTube or my rental classes, please just shoot me a private message, put it on the board, whatever, email me, whatever you feel comfortable doing. I will start my little to-do list, and next year I hope to have some new content out for you. Okay, so I know that one of my friends, Marie, she's been waiting for me to do the mini class on layout and rendering with L-shaped connected borders, but chunking them, okay? And I had started to work on that class, and then I kind of abandoned it because it wasn't quite going the way that I wanted to. Mr. MK's here today, so he's going to be hearing this. I probably need him to help me with some actual video at the machine. And when I have a quilt that has L-shaped borders that I want to chunk, I will try to work it out with him, and we will do that one. But otherwise, I am open. I am open for what you guys want to learn. I will try and get some new content out. All right? Okay, that's that. All right, the next topic, I want to talk about the etched glide foot that I have been offering for quite a while now here at MK Quilts. I heard a little chatter on one of the boards about Handy Quilter perhaps coming out with a new glide foot. I cannot confirm nor deny that. I have no information about that. But my etched glide feet have been very, very, very popular. I only have 7 of them left in stock. Okay, I just counted them. So if you want to get your hands on an etched glide foot, I love, love, love it. It's the etchings. A lot of people ask me, well, what's so special about the etchings? The etchings make it so that you can mark either a 1/4 or a 1/2 inch away from a seam or a border without having to, do some other ruler or marking with a pencil or anything. So the etchings on the glide foot are really, really awesome. Okay, so just head on over to mkquilts.com if you want to get that. 7 of them left. That's it. All right, gift certificates. I think we mentioned this also last week. Some of you reached out and said, you know what, Melissa, I would really like your videos for Christmas presents. I want to be able to tell my husband, I want MK's videos. All right, so we actually updated our hosting site and our website and whatever it took to be able to do gift certificates. So just, again, head on over there and just tell your significant other, your spouse, whatever, that you would like Santa to deliver gift certificates for MK Quilts. They're good for anything that I offer, any tools. I don't know, can we apply them towards teaching events? I'm not sure about that. We haven't talked about that. But they can be okay, we'll work it out. And Mr. MK says if you want to purchase that and put it towards a teaching event, we'll work that out. You can use them towards video rentals and, of course, any of the products that I have in the product store. All right? Okay, phew. I didn't think I had a lot to talk about today until I sat down and started making my list. So that's all I got for you today. Let's show you what's on the frames, and then Mr. MK and I and Samson are getting on out of here. So let me put my list down. I'm going to show you first over here on McFusion, a very beautiful kind of stained glass style quilt from a Guild Buddy. And there was actually one of you, I'm not sure, Kathy, if you're watching, when you came to visit me here at MK Quilts, you gave me this good idea. This quilt over here on McFusion has complete black backing. And you said that you use variegated thread a lot when you're quilting on something that has a plain back. So I have adopted that on a few quilts recently, and I love that. And my machines love omni variegated thread. So variegated on that one's looking really, really great. All right, over here on McFinity, this is all I am allowed to show you on this this quilt. This is just the back of a quilt that I've been working on. Oh gosh, that's been on the frame maybe 3-4 days. Beautiful, beautiful quilt coming up, going to be published in a book or pattern jacket. I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to be out next year, and that's from my friend and designer Deb Heatherly. So keep your eyes open for that one. It's beautiful. I've got a few more quilts of hers that are going to be released next year to do before Christmas, and then it's off to California. So you guys, I am not 100% sure I'm going to be hopping on next week. I have got loads of commitments, and of course Christmas is next weekend. So if I do not hop on next week, I want to take this opportunity from the bottom of my heart to thank you for all of your business this year. It has just been a whirlwind. It's been amazing. I truly, truly appreciate all of your support and your business. And Paul and Samson and I wish you and yours the most blessed and Merry Christmas, if that is what you celebrate. If you celebrate the other holidays, we wish you a happy one of those. And just continue to follow us. Who knows what's coming in 2018, but I want to bring you along. All right, that's all I got. Until next time, from my studio to yours, from Paul and Samson and MK. Happy quilting. Bye-bye.